Hello and welcome back to Rule the Waves 3. This Germany 1890 playthrough slash tutorial slash something. I've been talking about it before, but now I'm designing this little minesweeper. It's nothing special, 600 tons, not armored in any way. It has a few guns, mostly for role-playing purposes, and minesweeping gear. I could make it even cheaper. I could sort of remove these guns, for example, but let's just keep them. So, it will be cheap and easy to manufacture. That would be my... I will have a handful of these minesweepers to sort of start out the war, and I can minesweep and be on trade protection, so it's sort of a multi-purpose vessel. I also looked at these two designs. Could I sort of do anything with them? But if you open the design for rebuild, you can see they have armored the turrets here, so you can't even fit minesweeping gear, or you could if you sort of go down on the main armament, and you could take away and you could upgrade to that more powerful gun, and then you can see this is basically the same as the minesweeper that I built. Only this one is of course twice the tonnage. It provides nothing extra. So do I want to put money into it, or do I just want to scrap it, or do I just want to keep it as it is, as a trade protection vessel? The same with this Columbia, only it's even worse because it starts in the negative, and once I put on minesweeping gear, I remove everything here. It's still overweight. So, I mean, I could do it. It's only 200, but I don't think I'm in a particular rush to do that. But I can join the fun and be trade protection vessels as long as they are afloat. So let's see how it goes. It's gotten to the med, so eventually I can send this Indian Ocean ship back. I could have put this on foreign station already, of course, and then I can send this back to Northern Europe. Okay, that should work. I have also looked at a little design for a new battleship, but it's just so underwhelming that it makes me want to cry. I can either make a battleship with 8-inch guns and a 7-inch secondary battery, or I can make something with 12-inch guns that fire very slowly and will hit nothing. But I realize I can't postpone it much more, so I will only postpone it for one more episode, and then we will actually get around to building us an ironclad that isn't as terrible as these are, and then it will take 3 years to build them, so they will probably be super obsolete by the time they hit the water. But we have this Frauenlob. Frauenlob, yeah, I'm not sure what that means, but I can do something here. This has an ineffectual 8-inch gun. Well, it's not ineffectual, but it's the problem is there are only 2 of them. So we might as well drop it down 1 notch. That, as you can see, that pushes up the cost quite a bit, and the design time goes up from just a few months to quite a few more months. But okay. That lets me do this as a non-casemated ship, and I can also upgrade these 3-inch guns to a proper standard, and we still have some displacement left, so I will just pause here, finish the design, and then we can resume the video. Okay, so I've dropped this one down to 7. That gave me tonnage enough for 10 6-inch guns, 5 on each side, and I could get a total of 14 tertiaries in without going overweight. I'm even not over my top side capacity, so I've cleaned up the graphics. There were 5 boats and some other stuff that I got rid of, and I updated the graphics to the pre-dreadnought. And it will take for 8 months total, and it will cost a total of 4,000 to upgrade it, but I think it is a better ship without bulging it and bringing it down to 18 knots. I wouldn't really know what to do with those bulge knots. So the 7 inches are not really the main armament of this ship. This is the main armament in many ways. Now, also have 2 torpedo tubes. So save, finish. Okay. Yes. 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 Now I go into the negative here for a while, but that's okay. The Valkyries. So these 4 are also eligible for rebuilds, but to be honest, that's not such a huge concern because they are mostly fine. They have these 8-inch guns, although I could do the same here. I could do this drop down, normal, casemate, but they already have a 3-inch gun, so it's not a huge deal. But then I could maybe increase this to 12, and I could reduce the second. Yeah, this is doable. So yeah, let's actually do that, and then I could do something similar for the Victoria Louise, and I could clean up the graphics as well. Let's do that before war starts out. This will also impact our crew quality just a little bit, but I'm really hoping war doesn't break out immediately. But I will make the designs, have them ready, but then I will wait for these refits to at least come along somewhat before I commit these heavy cruisers to rebuilds. Okay, see you in a second. Okay, I've redesigned Victoria Louise and the Prince Heinrich, and Prince Heinrich was pretty straightforward. He dropped to 7, and he got 12, more than 12 secondaries, and it gets crowded and you get penalties. And he got 14 3-inches and double broadside torpedoes. That was straightforward. But then I opened the Victoria Louise. We started with those Prince Heinrich we were building, and she had, oops, not correct. She had quite a few tons left over. So, and she also incredibly had -2 quality 8-inch guns. That's completely unnecessary. So I had to sort of drop this, and I had to give her the same arrangement, 12 and 14, and the torpedoes, 2 on the sides. But I actually had to up armor her to get all the tonnage used up, so she will spend a while repairing. But I cannot afford and do not want to put all these heavy cruisers into production, into refit right away, so let's not do that. Let's instead just keep going. Finished working up. Japan is seeking due to rising tensions with Spain. Yeah, why not? Japanese are nice people. Would never. They do not entertain any imperialist ambitions, I'm sure. No, but I'm just joking. But Russia has Japan as its neighbor in the east, so they are natural enemies. So if we could get an alliance with Japan, that would help very much with, not very much, but it would help keep Russia focused to different sides of the world, and that is never wrong. Close. The Aldebaran, but of course now I am a little bit short of money, but let's start 2 of the Aldebaran class. Rename ship. Okay. I think, yeah, this Valkyrie class cruiser is almost done, and Friedrich Karl is almost done. So that's fine. And this rebuilds will also be done in half a year. Everyone is active. This one is slowly making its way home. The one I put on foreign station that I wanted to go to the Indian Ocean. Can you just go to the Indian Ocean, please? There's been an internal upheaval in Greece. If we send a force to restore order, there's a chance we can take it over as a colony. We don't really have many ships there, so that chance I think is relatively low. But there are other nations that could object to this. Typically, this would be Austria-Hungary, Italy, and also France, because they're all in the Med, and Great Britain because they are meddling sons of something. So we are not going to do that because this will kick up tension, and we don't want more tension right now. I'm sorry for being a bit chickenish here at the start, but Germany 1890, I don't feel I should barge into wars I cannot win. We have more we have 2 ships in the Med. That's more than we can support. Yeah, great stuff. Now they're actually moving. We have some in the Baltic. This will be great. Turn. Let's see. Tension with France increases as our wealth and power makes them resent us. I bet that if we check the almanac now, then they are much more powerful and much richer than we are. So that's bullshit. Spain. No areas of conflicting interest. That's true. Yeah, more. Yeah. No, France hates us. And let's look at the almanac. So they have 50% more, 100,000 more of budget, and they have so much more ships than we do. So any claim that we are so rich and powerful, that's just it's not true. If we look at research, we have had exactly 0 research breakthroughs thus far. That's not surprising. Let's press on. The Kaiser is annoyed again, but yeah, I have 100, required 128. You cannot please this guy. So right now I'm leaning toward the revolution. Improved relations because France, yeah. Okay, we can increase our cooperation, maybe annoy France even more. Okay, it's arrived in Northern Europe. That should put... let's move the rest of these guys back to Northern Europe. I bet he's gonna complain soon about the Baltic. At least our combat ships are back home now. And construction is coming along nicely. Yeah, so tension with France and Russia continue to increase. And now we are very close to war with both. So actually, if push comes to shove, I would much rather just push tensions with Russia beyond. This is the line of, well, I would like to say no return, but sometimes tensions will go above what's called the war threshold. But it will just hang there and suddenly it will come down and there is no war. Other times it will just immediately kick off a war. But it's better to get into a war with Russia, I think, than with France, because we have a better chance fighting Russia than France. And at the moment, Russia and France, they have good relations, but they are not in any form of alliance, so there is no reason to suspect that the French will also declare war on us. And the kind of tension-altering events tend to be more rare during a war, I believe. Okay, now we are back up positive again, so we could even consider building a third Blücher class, or we could accept that these divisions, we have 2 of them. One more Bismarck is coming, and 2 more. We could have a third cruiser squadron with 3 ships. That seems fine, I think. I don't want to build any more Valkyries at the moment. Really should start thinking about building a battleship. Yeah, I've postponed it for too long. So that is the next. But I'm not going to. If we get into a war now, then it's pointless to start designing and building new battleships. But let's go to 1893. Okay, a major foreign policy crisis. Might as well have war now. We could do the budget and tension. This will guaranteed lead to war. This will probably lead to war since the tension is so high, but it might hover for a few months and then either war breaks out or it goes down. Or we could take a prestige hit and still push a line up. So, budget prestige. In the responsible and proportional way. Yeah, I think we would still prefer this one. I don't need the prestige at the moment. Very tense. Yeah, I certainly hope so. New docs completed. So there it is. I'm going to save, and then I'm going to copy this to my reserve. I usually do at year's end, and our docs are now at 15,500. Britain is at 15, 15, 15. So we are keeping pace with the big guys. I don't think I need a new class of this one. So it's really about battleships. Now, war could break out as soon as I hit the turn button, and these guys still have a few months left before they are rebuilt, and we never got around to our heavy cruisers, but that's how it is. But if we could delay war for a couple of more months, that would be great. But then they would need time to work up and so forth. But we can hope that Russia also gets into a war with Japan, because we are at 12, but they are 10 with Japan, so they are hovering at this line. They are orange, but just at that line instead of well above it. Oh, very tense. So I'm going to wait with building any additional ships, or should I order 2 more minesweepers? No, I don't think so. There aren't a lot of mines yet. So much to think about, but also very exciting. Foreign stations are okay. I think it has arrived in the Indian Ocean, so we can put it on active so it doesn't wander. Everything is active and relatively decent experience. We are a couple of fair. This one just arrived, so it can go into a division. For the time being, we can't make a new division for just one ship, so we will put it into this. Wait, we have this horrible Let's make that the flagship. That did something with the experience of the unit. I should have done that earlier. I'm not tempted really to put this one here. I might be tempted to make a 3. No, let's just keep it like this for now. Let's move this up. because generally the front ships get to see more action. And the next Blücher, it's still far away. Very far away. I don't think there's a whole lot I can do. I can push up intelligence, since it looks like we are going to be fighting soon. I probably could push up intelligence with these other guys as well and learn a little bit more about them. Then let's see if there is war. Oh, yeah, good. This is the second event I get increase of dock size. This time it increased it by a lot. So now we are up at 16.5. Greece. Okay, so Greece didn't get taken when I skipped on that event, so now Italy is taking Greece. But again, I don't want to push tension up anymore, and if Greece wants... now if Italy wants Greece, then go for it, yeah. Okay, so it just stays there. But now Japan and Russia are at 11. So now Japan is above this line as well, well into possible war territory. Yeah, very exciting. So the only thing other than just pressing the button and seeing what will happen is to design a battleship. We should really try to design a battleship and get some of them into production, because this is starting to get silly. No, that's the wrong screen. Design ship. We will always let the AI try to design something. Oh, I mean, I nearly vomit seeing those guys. I want something bigger. There, this looks like an actual ship. So we have some choices here. We could either go for the biggest guns that we can and just accept that they are not very powerful, even though they are 12-inch guns, because they are slow firing and generally unreliable. If you look at the gun data, they can still only shoot out to about 10,000 yards, which is not very far at all. That is an option, actually. This is not a great ship, but it's actually starting to look like a battleship. We could tweak around the settings here. It would not be a short-range battleship. It would be a normal battleship, and it would need to have its values here changed around quite a bit. And if you are going to be using a more powerful gun armament on the sides here, which I think we will, can we even do 8-inch? Yes, we can do 8-inch. Then it starts to feel like an actual battleship. Something that could have its own role instead of just coming up with another heavy cruiser with, say, 7 or 8-inch guns. There are some drawbacks here. Going 8-inch batteries like this does present a considerable risk of penetrating hits, doing nasty damage to our ships. We could actually blow up, but I don't think it's really that bad. The question is, should we go for these quick fire? It has some torpedoes, that's good. But the belt needs to change. Belt extended, deck extended. The conning tower should go to maybe 10. belt, I think 6 would be fine. 6 would be fine. And it's tempting to sort of jam it full of 5 or even 6-inch tertiaries, but I think we have a good team going here with these quick firing 3-inch guns on our ships, so we will definitely keep to that team. We can try removing some torpedo mounts, and it only needs 100, 160. No, it definitely doesn't need 160. So then we can add the torpedoes back in, I think. Then we have 200 to play with. The problem is this is compound armor, so it's not really very good. Let's not try to armor it super heavily. This is, I think, good overall coverage. No. Well, now the deck is splinter-proof. I wouldn't say future-proof, but it is not horrible. 6 inches of armor on the mains here. I would take it down to 5, actually. $14 3-inch guns, I think I've used that. No, let's keep it on 6. This is a decent layout. It doesn't really have super good belt armor, but in a way that's okay, because this is built to tangle with cruisers, light cruisers, and the odd secondary battery from other battleship. Is not meant to really last forever against hits from 12 or 13-inch guns. If they hit, and we'll just have to live with it, basically. Pick a name. Kaiser. It can be the Beowulf. This is our first battleship, and it will be called Beowulf. Graphics. Okay, it can. Oh, all those boats. Just give me a few seconds and I will clean this up. Okay, I've cleaned it up. Added tertiary battery, 14 guns, 4 torpedoes, medium-ish heavy armor. A good secondary battery, I think, for this day and age. So I think I'm reasonably happy with this. These aren't going to hit anything, but Germany needs and wants a true battleship. So this will be the one and only, I think, ironclad that we build in this game. Hopefully the next ship will be a pre-dreadnought with proper side wing turrets and everything. So let's put this into production. Yes, I know it has a narrow belt because I like narrow belt. Yeah, save in case anything happens, and it will be ready in 3 months. And then if we are at war, maybe not build it. But if we are not at war, we will definitely build one. And the Valkyrie, okay, so the Valkyrie is starting to fill up quite nicely here. It's a full squadron now. And once it's full, I think we can reasonably think about upgrading these to sort of the same standard as we did with Hertha, that we bulge them. They will lose a lot of speed, but then we can sort of make them into floating batteries. Could be a thing. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. We'll see. But let's hit the turn button. Okay. Russian Navy has the majority of their heavy ships in active status. What should we do? Well, it could be nothing. So we can send a note. Either that pushes us into war, we just have to live with, or they back down. We can also sort of mobilize all our major ships in reserve, push. I always say prestige. I mean tension. That will not really help. We can try this. Either they get angry. Okay, so they are backing down just a little bit. Eccentric scientist offers to sell us his latest invention. Could turn out to be something, it could turn out to be nothing, but 1600 isn't that much, so yeah, we'll say yes, maybe something happens. Austrian battleship, 4 10-inch, 6 6-inch, 14 2-inch. Okay, so the battleship I just designed, suddenly they feel super good. They didn't really back down. They pretended to back down, but then they declared war on us. France also hates us, but now we are at war with Russia, so maybe they will leave us alone. What we can hope for is that Japan will join in. Now that we have a war on our hands, I think I will sort of call the episode, and in the next episode then we can grapple with the war. But okay, we can. I'm not sure why I always go to the division editor. I suppose I just like the look of it. I could add the ships from on the main screen. As far as I know, I don't have any additional cruisers. So, but before I end this, at the eve of battle, let us see. They are basically crushing us in battleships, but their battleships are crap. We are behind in cruisers, but the important number is this, and I will have some cruisers in the east. So we are actually pretty even there. And if they have some light cruisers in the east, we are actually out-cruisering them. KIs and KEs are not important. So it's battleships that we are behind in. So the question is, how many battleships do they have in the Baltic? More than half, I'm sure. Probably 2 full squadrons. 8-10 battleships against our 4. But we can look at their ships, the quality of their ships. So 15 knots is their go-to thing, or 16 for the modern ones. So that's comparable to us. But their smallest ship is bigger than our biggest ships, and they have 12-inch guns. We have 10-inch, and also these guys, this Imperator Alexander, have 6 12-inch guns. So they can fire 4 on the broadsides, or maybe 5 even. 4! Wow, look at this, it's beautiful. It's insane, but it's beautiful. So I could fire 4 on the broadside. And it also has a lot of 6-inch guns. So this is not a for the era bad ironclad. This is much weaker, more comparable to our own. So they have 4 of these, and then they have 4 of these that have 4 12 inches, and then they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these. And these are the same. Okay, so let's see. I'm not too afraid of those 9,000 tonners, but these 10 and 12,000 tonners, they are pretty scary. They can only be sunk by torpedoes, I think, and we don't have anything that can put them under the waves. Yeah. Divisions. 2 of our key division, the 1st and 2nd cruiser division, actually managed to get below average. No, the cruiser division 2 and the reserve below. And this one is above and also a good administrator, so that's fine. I did consider stopping the episode now, but it would only be like 30 minutes long, so let's push on and at least get to the start of the first battle, and then look a little bit at the interface and those sorts of things. Oh, yeah. No matter how long you play this game, you are going to forget that you need ships on trade protection. Continue anyway? No? Definitely not. Continue anyway. These two guys are definitely going to be on trade protection. Of course they are. These two are not ready for another 3 months, but that's okay, I suppose. All of these ships, except the one that's working up, are going to head to the Baltic. We don't have a big enough fleet to sort of split it up, so everything that can go will go. In case there is a big fleet battle, we need everything we can get our hands on. These guys can also be put on trade protection. I will protect. We don't have any anti-submarine. We don't have any submarines. We can turn off these auto moves for now. So that now is the question: what do we do with these other things? And then we can. I guess we could do one of the Helas. We could take this one, for instance, and put it on trade protection. Then it won't appear in a battle, most likely, but it can still go to the Baltic. This one we will wait. Poor is not good, so we will wait until it's worked up and it's fair. Anything else that I forgot? There are no mines, nothing. So we can look at the strength numbers here. We see that it's. So the Russians have brought quite a few ships out of their reserve. Oh, and they also have like 2 cruisers and 6 light cruisers in Northern Europe. So then we will go back and maybe change this. They have 9 battleships. These are estimates. We don't know if this is exactly right. So combining these, they have 6 battleships and 9 heavy cruisers and 14 light cruisers. So more than I have, but not frighteningly more. So I need to keep some heavy cruisers here and also keep some light cruisers in this area, but that's fine. I was pretty sure they had all their stuff in the Baltic now, so let's redo this. These will go into the Baltic, so let's keep 1 cruiser division, the one with only 3 cruisers. They will just stay in northern. I was going to. I forgot what this new shortcut was. D. It's D. D. They will stay in Northern Europe, and I also need 1 light cruiser division to stay in Northern Europe. Let's maybe we should take the Valkyries. No, let's take this squadron that's on trade protection. So C, no, that must be the slowest. That's cancel moves. D. Why am I so slow? What? B and C. Yeah, that's what I was aiming for. Okay, so these 4 can then contribute in the North Sea alongside with 1 of our cruiser divisions. The rest of our ships will head for the Baltic. This one is in Northern Europe, but it will not appear in any battles because it's just working up, preparing to fight. Now everything should be in order, and I will hit the turn button, and immediately the battle generator gets to work. Every time you are in a war, there is a very big chance that there will be some battle generated. There could be more opportunities for battle, because you can always decline, or often you can have the option of declining a battle if you don't like the type of battle or the odds. But you will only fight a maximum of one battle per strategic turn, no matter how big or small the fleets involved are. So this one is a boring one. It's called Action with Light Forces. There are no destroyers in this game yet, so action with light forces, that will be cruisers. It will be light cruisers, and I'm pretty sure the game will give me my worst squadron of light cruisers, so none of the cool new 8,000 ton light cruisers. If that happens, I stand corrected, but I don't believe so. These are the estimated forces. You can see we are, like we predicted at the start of like I predicted earlier, it would be relatively evenly matched, and we are also evenly matched in the North Sea. But this battle will take place in the Baltic. So, with most likely light cruisers, we have a slight edge. So, yeah, I get 2 of my light cruisers, but not the weakest one. They didn't give me the 3,100 ton. These are actually the good legacy light cruisers. So, and then these are the estimated enemy forces, but that's what we estimate in this battle. And yeah, Admiral Lecher fails command check utterly. I didn't check his skill level. He's probably not a good commander. So we cannot decline this battle. We have to fight it. But if we would decline it, it would give victory points to the enemy. And I cannot add or change my order of battle. So I will just accept it. And then we zoom in, and this is a whole new interface. And now we have finally touched upon the 3rd cornerstone of Rule the Waves 3. One was a strategic layer of the turn-based system with the economy and the events and moving ships around the world map. We'll cover that not in great detail, but enough to be reasonably familiar with it. And we also designed and redesigned a few ships, not enough to sort of know every nook and cranny of the system, but enough to get a good idea of how this works. And now we are finally in this like 5th episode or something, 4 or 5 hours in, we can finally fight our first battle. And we are now zoomed in. You can use the mouse to zoom in and out, and we are clearly raiding into the Baltic here. We are in this bay outside Riga. The objective is action with light forces, so you basically just drive around and see if you find anyone. Reports log, this is your order of battle, and I have some distant shore batteries, but I will not play a part in this scenario. And we have a little image of the selected squadron, or rather the flagship of the selected squadron. And there we can see, this is one of the reasons why this game is beautiful. This is the ship that I designed, and it is now on its way to battle. This is the Frauenlob, and this is the Amazon, and they are going at course 249, speed 12 knots. Here are some controls, but right now we're locked in. We do not have control yet. The game will release them under my control once contact has been made. Yeah, there's a lot of buttons up here that we can get into in more detail later. These have to do mostly with aircraft, but this one is interesting because it says where we are. Not so interesting, but it says when will the sun set and when will dawn be. The dawn will be in 40 minutes, so it's currently pretty dark, but you can see the dawn line here and the line for full daylight over here. So we are actually most likely going to run into the enemy at very short distance, and you can see that night sighting range is down to 4,000 yards. You can see that in the corner here. Ooh, maybe I should move my the placement of my. I can just twist back now. It says overcast, moderate breeze, day sighting, and night sighting. I think I need to reposition my lovely face for these battles, but for this one I think I'll be fine. You can also get this information from sort of this overcast here. That's the important part. This is the wind direction. It blows from east to west. That we are coal fired, so ships make a hell of a lot of smoke, and if the smoke drifts from your ship towards the enemy, then you're basically firing into a big cloud of black coal smoke that you produced yourself. That's obscuring the targets and making you miss, so you don't want to do that. That's actually a tactic to sort of force the enemy to fire into his own smoke. We'll try to avoid that. Then we have, we can turn off radar range, it's not a thing. This one, very small, it's like 1,000 yards or something. And here you have the gunnery range for our main armament. And if I right click the ship, either in the little image here or in the on the map here, it pops out with main battery. So our two 7-inch guns can shoot that far. Secondary, tertiary have their own ranges that are not represented. This is the sighting range, so you can see that sighting is much less than gun range at the moment. This kind of locks you to the when the ships move, the screen moves, so you don't have to scroll. This is for missiles, this is for zoom out usually. These are for options, various report options, auto pausing, that sort of thing. You can also make the game unpause and start running when you click on a new course. That's not good. There are some options here. I'm playing on what's called captain's mode. That is typically easy mode, but that's not because I want to manually control everything. That is because I want to have the option of sometimes jumping in to make the AI not do the most silly things. For example, if enemy destroyers are rushing your line, I want to have the option of ordering my destroyers to counter. Or, most importantly, if you detach a damaged ship to seek shelter, I want to be able to send it on a safe course rather than have it wander at 8 knots through the middle of the enemy battle fleet. But I tried to use manual control as little as possible, and you can see that when I deploy, I have AI control of cruisers and destroyers. Only the cap ships are under my sort of direct control. I mean, it's a game, so I want to have some level of control, or I could hit this one and just watch the AI play the game. That's I think not very funny. Speaking of which, you can just auto run the battle here. I think that's the most important bits. You can also see more here. You can jump to the division, or you can double click to jump back to the ship. This picture, I don't have no idea why this would be important. Some key statistics, and also you can click here to see more detail about each gun, what rate of fire they are doing. This one can also shoot out to 9,000. This can shoot to 9,000. So the 7 and the 6-inch guns have the same range. But of course, the tertiary guns have much less of a range, and you can't, unfortunately, see as much data on the tertiaries. But let's unpause. You can unpause by hitting enter, then the game runs, or you could hit one of the number keys, then it runs for that many minutes, in game that is. You can pause by pressing spacebar, and there are a few other variations. I usually press 1 to 5 minutes, or I just press enter to make it run until I pause, or until it auto pauses based on my settings here. Game speed normal is actually pretty slow, so I usually keep it on fast, or even better, I have this fastest available. We're not gonna do that now because then you can't see anything, but then it will move really fast until something happens. But we can put it on fast for the time being. So I will now press enter to unpause, and we can see our guys. We can lock it to them. They're cruising and it's grayed out, so I have no control as yet there. Now you can see I got control. I wish there was a pop-up that said, "You have control, Captain," or something like that. So this is Commander Struckmeyer. He's in charge of this ship. He's the flag captain. But the commanding officer is Rear Admiral Möller. His average skill, I suppose that's fine. He's unknown, but we will probably know after this battle. And with this guy, also unknown, but there's a good chance you learn something about your commanders once they have been in battle. So cruise speed is pretty low. These guys can, if we right click, we see division, they can go up to 20. So you could click cruise 12 or go to 20, but you can't go to 25 because they don't go that fast. But never when cruising around would I go faster than max -2, because that would wear out my engines and tire my strokers. Actually, it's probably better just to keep them at, say, 14, 15, 16, because that's a sustainable speed. You might want to keep them cruising, but these are ancient steam-powered ships, so to change speed they need to shove more coals into the furnaces, and they have to build steam pressure, and then the ship speeds up. So once you slow down, it actually takes a while to speed up again. So if you expect your ships to go from 12 to 20 knots in an instant, that's not how it happens. Also, if you turn tightly, you will lose speed. That's physics. So, the game models a lot of that quite well, I would say. My big fear is running into the enemy at night and then getting torpedoed before I can do anything. So, but we have no real option other than I increase my speed by 2 knots. And yeah, here comes the dawn line. Dawn is sort of middle between night, daylight. There is no gradual. You either have night, you have dawn, and you have day. And then visibility is also affected by stuff like weather. I think the sun is coming here and making shine. Oh, the sun is shining on my web camera. It's still shining on my web camera. You just give me 1 second. Good stuff. Okay. Curtains. Unknown ship sighted, but yeah. Fortunately, the game auto pauses. Yeah, there we have an unidentified ship. We don't really know anything about it. It looks kinda small. It doesn't look like a battleship. And of course, playing a game, we know that we are not very unlikely to meet any of the battleship, because it's set literally. It would be a fight light forces. So let's instead of completely unpausing it, let us turn toward the enemy, not too sharply, and then increase speed to 16 knots. You can do that down here. Pick course from map. You can click here, but there's a lot of clicking, but it's better to shift click to set a new course. These green little arrows is your set course, and how long the arrow is an indication of your speed. And this is under the sound and video options, very logical. But show course indicators, definitely use that one. And also I like seeing the flags and the damage meters. Yeah, base flags are not important. Scale is also not important. Compass not important. But I also like to color some of the enemy ships. That makes it easier to tell them apart. But also this little flag option here is useful. If you zoom in here, you can see there is a little Imperial German flag, and this will then get the Russian flag. And I can, since we are in fast, if I hit the 1 button, it advances 1 minute in game. You can see it turning against me. And now we want to consider the gun smoke. No, sorry, the smoke and the gunfire, so we are turning again. And now I think that unlocking the view here will give you a better idea of how we are moving in relation to each other. So we are in this, and now it's going pretty fast, but now you can see we are approaching takeoff gunnery range. You can see that we are well inside visual range, and we are approaching gunnery range, and then it turns away. Wow, what a complete coward. Then we will go to max -2, and then we will turn after him. And if you hover above him, just like that, it just says unidentified ship. Once we get a little closer and get more intel on him, they will estimate the class and speed and yeah, that sort of thing. And you can see here, is he getting away? Is he closing? One very good way of seeing whether you are closing or not is to again engage this lock here. You will quickly see if you are approaching or not. And I don't want him to escape out into the greater ocean, so I will turn a bit here. Try to get him into the bay, and also the smoke is now blowing away from my target. Yes, I could get a little smoke from him as well, but that's not problematic in the same way. Oh, there's another one. Keep advancing. Oh, it's a transport, so we are chasing down a transport. It's estimated that it is going at speed. No, there we have no speed on it yet. So if there's a transport there, we don't know this, but we could reasonably expect there to be some sort of enemy patrol nearby. So we'll keep hitting one to advance by 1 minute. The game speed is never faster than fast when you are engaged. So even if I do this and it says ultra fast, it won't actually go to ultra fast, it will hop down to fast. So keep that engaged. We are not getting any hits here. We are shooting. Not sure why. Post battle on new report. We can take everything. Normally we should get a warning when we shoot, but there we go. Light cruiser Frauenlob fires 5 6-inch guns at transport. 1 hits, and then we get this TR hit. We can double click it to just jump to the target. We still have no estimation of speed or the size. They are either small, medium or large transports. But we get a hit. Now we also have, this was the Frauenlob, and we can go to log entries. Okay, there's no interesting log entries yet. I was pretty sure that... No? Okay, why did it claim that we hit if there is nothing in the log? No, nothing interesting in the log yet, nothing to... And you can see it is quickly losing speed. They have no armor and they are small, so take a bunch of damage. I will bring my speed down a little bit, because now this ship is in this bay, so it cannot really get away. Oh, it's another transport. Okay, then I will just lock the view again. Okay, armed merchant cruiser. Light damage, sort of. The entire premise of this game is that you don't have perfect information about not even yourself, but definitely not your enemies. So the intel can say this is that kind of ship, but it's not that kind of ship until when you get closer. It's another kind of ship, and then it says light damage, but it's limping away at 5 knots and it's on fire. Then it suddenly sinks. Or it says that it's sinking, but it's zipping along at 20 knots and looking absolutely fine. So you have to take this information the game gives you with a grain of salt. You have to think like a naval commander. So there is no reason to not pursue this guy, and we could even sort of advance by 5 minutes. So this is an event that pops up whenever something sinks. Do you want to detach usually a destroyer, but we don't have any destroyers yet. You could say no. but you get A, points for saving guys. And this is sort of in the time where you're supposed to rescue shipwrecked or sunk sailors, and you can even get negative events after the battle when you are called out in the international scene for not being a gentleman but for being a scum, and then you can lose prestige and tension could even go up, I think. So we don't need more than one cruiser to sink a transport. I will send him. I will regret that if suddenly 3 Russian cruisers appear, but let's go along. And now you see he is under AI control. He rushes over here. This is a medium merchant. So I will reduce my speed just a bit so it's easier for him to catch up. I can do 5 minutes. And I will adjust my speed and I will just kind of circle this guy. And now we sight another unknown ship, and this looks more like a patrol. So we are shooting, but presumably it's down to 5 knots, so it's not doing so well. Yeah, there it's sunk. And I said yes to all, so it will now head over there to rescue some more survivors, presumably. So I will basically increase steam again back up to 16. We could go to 18. No, it's very done rescuing guys. Okay, so we are back in formation. It's trailing a little bit, but we can bring it around. On another, probably save occasionally. When you save manually, it asks if you want to exit the game, but we don't want to do that. You can also auto-save it like once every hour, I think the standard is. I had some very bad things happen to me in Rule the Waves 2 with the auto-save on, so that basically corrupted my entire run, so I am paranoid about it. I am almost as paranoid about autosaves in Rule the Waves as I am about being torpedoed. Okay, it's 2 light cruisers estimated. This one is more certain. It's a Vladimir class doing 15 knots. So we right click it, and it's very red because I chose very red for its deck color to make them easier to tell apart. Russian flag. Okay, so it has 2 8-inch guns. That's not very scary because it's just 2. 6 6-inch guns. Also not terribly scary because that's just 3 to a broadside. But 2 8s and 3 6s to a broadside. Okay, it's not horrible. It's estimated to actually have a pretty good belt armor, better than mine in fact. This is rather heavily armored for a light cruiser of the period. But it's just 4,500 tons and it does 20 knots, so armament weak, relatively fast, lots of torpedoes, good armor. Some of these things might not be completely true. It could be slower. It could be. I don't think it's slower because it's a light cruiser. It could be 21 knots, but 20 that sounds likely. But this armor, if anything, I think it is overestimated. It could be down to just 2 inches. That sounds more like a light cruiser of the time, but we'll see. We have no way of knowing for sure until we have more intel. So I will turn not too sharply. I could turn the other way to avoid the smoke issue, but I don't want to get stuck too close to the shore, so I think I will just head 5 minutes east-southeast and just make them chase us. Yeah, and I said yes to all savior missions, so now he decided, oh, there's another sunk ship. So then I cannot really go any further. I have to turn around. It's a bit undecided. Now the enemy is approaching, so okay. The enemy, I thought he had a good thing going, but now I will try to cut on the inside. Sighting range is now much further than the gunnery range, so you can see that I have mostly zoomed out. We don't want to get sort of stuck against but he seems to insist on going very close. Oh god. This is not comfortable. I think I will turn, and then I will also increase steam somewhat. Okay, Frauenlob hull hit. So he hit me. Shell burst. Limited by coal bunker. So it punches through into the ship, but then it hits a bunch of coal. That's one of the few advantages a coal-fired ship has. It has a bunch of coal inside, and coal actually is a pretty good damage soak. That was the Frauenlob. So if you look at division, we can see it's taken heavy, medium hit, light hit, and to the right, torpedo hits. It's not terribly damaging. You see our damage meter is still at 0%, so it basically hit nothing that is important and nothing that impacts our performance in any way. But we haven't really scored any hits on. This is another class, so we can right click it. This is 21 knots, and this has 10, 16 inch, 6 inch guns. Okay, yeah. Nothing much we can do about that. Let's just keep heading forward. We can even drop the speed to normal here. We could see if we could sort of get torpedoes off. That would have been a viable tactic later in the game, but you can see here that even pushed up against land, we cannot even hope to get okay. Speed limited to 28 knots by weather. Yeah, I think we're fine. We cannot go faster than that. If you look at the division here, you can sort of see the hit chances. They are very low, well below 1% per shot, even though we are pretty close. Hit chance, you can see the details here. Target, the range, the base hit chance. This one, unfortunately, doesn't have a good crew. I don't know why. I thought these light cruisers were up to speed. The target size is very low. It's just a light cruiser. Fire control is primitive. The tech level, I'm being shot at. And this one is what I was talking about. The 40% penalty for the smoke that's blowing in our eyes. And also a penalty for, yeah, it's a bit of a swell. So we call it a fresh breeze, so it's a few waves. So despite being in pistol shot range almost, the hit chance is absolutely terrible. So let's keep going, see if they will turn to follow us. See, they are currently out of range. I want to go straight north. I think we can go to fast again and just skip forward 5 minutes. Still out of range. Now we can open fire again. That is fine. And I will cut to the left here. Hard turn inside. You can eat smoke. If we want to sort of compare here, then we can see, yeah, we got rid of the smoke penalty. But final hit chance is still low. And now we are 2 ships firing at the same target. Lots of splashes. It's hard for the guys shooting to actually see what they are doing. I think the Amazon has better crew quality. No, it's -2. Are these guys really poor? That's weird. Okay. I guess I have to... Okay, we finally scored a hit on here. Or we could try to go even closer. Another hit. Still outside. Now we get a super structure hit. It could have been protected by upper belt, but we don't have any upper belt, so the asterisk means it's a penetrating hit, so you can see the damage meter here. It's just to avoid having to click on a ship every time it gets hit by a little gun. So if we see here, it now has 3 medium hits and has a 2% damage, but there is no fire. It's not dangerous yet. Keep going. Let's disengage just a little bit and cut back. I keep going. Now we have 2 ships firing broadsides. You can also, if you zoom in here, you can see actually what kind of guns are trained on the enemy. So this is a good broadside. While if we zoom in on this other guy, it's actually, you can see it on this little image, but it's kind of hard to see. And you can see he's firing his rear guns and 3 of his 6 inches. So we have a lot more fire on him than he has on us, which is good. You cannot hit a land. There is a land calculation there. But now I think it is possible that we want to go to squad max. Just to keep up with them, because they are doing about 20 knots. Now it's broadside to broadside competition. Just keep going. We might have to adjust our vector just a tiny bit. Let's go 2 minutes, 2 minutes. Okay, then we got another hit, and we have another penetrating hit in belt extended. Because these are old ships, they don't have any BE. But again, it hit coal bunker, so we are doing surprisingly fine. Now, go to the division, now has 4 so-called medium hits, and its damage meter is still at 2%. So you cannot know what's happened in detail to the enemy. But now it says 15 knots, so maybe he has dropped in speed because of damage, I don't know. Okay, Vladimir class hit, that's good. But this is horrible. Splinters, perforate, uptakes. If you go, I click that. And now you can see our maximum speed has dropped somewhat because the whole engine assembly is terribly exposed to gunfire, and it's very sad. So, Frauenlob near miss. Near misses can do damage as well. That is more for big shells. If a 14-inch shell lands a few meters from a ship and explodes, it's gonna do terrible damage. So, should we run this straight into torpedo range, then they can torpedo us and we can torpedo them, and I don't think that we want to risk sort of losing a ship. Let's run 5 more minutes. Yeah, there is something with their speed here, and we got 2 on this Aurora class. If we were gaming now, we could sort of pull out, and having sunk 2 transport and done some actual damage to the enemy, we would win this battle. But I think we will risk running forward again. Yeah, then we score more hits, but I don't want to go into torpedo range. Happened? No. Let's keep an eye on this. Let me see. Hit chance. Yeah, final hit chance is good. Smoke interference. Yes, there is some smoke interference, but it is not as horrible as you might think. Brown lob. Shell burst limited by coal bunker. Again, we're a bit lucky here. And this is a pass-through hit. So basically it goes straight path through the superstructure but doesn't do significant damage. But you can see that the Frauenlob is starting to rack up quite a bit of damage. It went from being virtually undamaged to having taken some heavy pounding. So we are going to go back just as... Yeah, Frauenlob. Once again, we get a penetrating hit in belt extended. If you click the flag or the marker here, you can go right into it. But still no flooding, nothing beneath the... Okay, we had some hits there again. Now it's suddenly light damage, so it's kind of hard to know. Doing that all the time. 35, okay. Run for 5 more minutes. Oh wait, the Vladimir. Now this guy is also taking some hits. That is of course not good, but on the other hand, we want them to take some damage. It's better to spread the damage between both my ships than that the lead ship gets all the damage. But it is typical, the flagship will take the most damage. Oh my god, yes, this is interesting. The Vladimir class is losing speed. It's down to 5 knots, so it has suffered some serious damage either to the engine or it's flooding. Oh my god, that is important. So now I will unlock this and I will go down in speed because this could be significant. Now don't fear, it won't get away from us. But we will continue the duel. This one is down to 10 knots. This could be significant. Now the Amazon got an engine hit, so now it's... well, it didn't actually do a whole lot. Oh, okay, yeah. There is no asterisk, so it hit the engine room, but the belt armor stopped it. So that's how it works. Now, let's just tap its T. I don't think it can do anything to stop us from doing that. And we can shift. Let's try to avoid the smoke. Yeah, it was in this area, so out of sight now, but going 5 knots, then we can follow it if it doesn't outright sink. We can turn this one back on and run for another 5 minutes. Hey, try hitting it now. We can't hit anything, it seems. Not impressed by our shooting skills here. Okay, we get an ammunition warning. Shooting quite a bit. There is our other little friend. And now it's on fire. We have shut up. Basically, it's superstructure. We probably haven't damaged it below water. Not to any great extent, but we have made some significant impact on its superstructure and something has exploded and caught fire. This one has heavy damage. So let's let this burn for a while now. But now we need to take the speed down just a little bit. Let's cap its T. It's kind of hard to outright sink ships at this point, but we will give it a try. Since I'm terminally afraid of being torpedoed back, it's so easy to sort of come up behind a ship that has rare firing torpedoes. This could have front, back, side. So it's dead in the water basically, but then you suddenly eat a torpedo and then your cruiser sinks. If a ship stops moving completely, and it is usually going to die. At this stage in the game at least. We're not hitting much. Again, probably because of the gun smoke. Going to just slide in front of it very slowly. Then we are going to cut in front of it. Fortunately, you must pause the game to see the... No, it tries to stay out of torpedo range, but I mean, I can't even hit it. And now it says medium damage. I doubt that very, very strongly. You can do this and see all the hits. So we are scoring some hits, but it's been a while. You can see the clock here since I actually managed to hit it. It's a terrible embarrassment to humanity. Here we managed to actually hit it. Let's head over to our other friend. Yeah, he's on fire. And you can see it's actually stationary. So this one is dead. He's not gonna make it. Neither are you, my friend. Soon you will have no superstructure and you will burn. You will die. Let's avoid the torpedo. It would be very embarrassing if I... Let's go down to cruise speed. I think this rain also negatively impacts our gunfire. Rain, yeah. No, we have no smoke, but the rain is terrible. But it's going pretty slowly. Target low speed. So kind of helps. If you look at the division, it will give you the hit chance for the main battery. You can expect the second battery to be about the same at this stage. No one has any directors, so... Yeah. He's stopped. It says heavy damage. This ship survives. Yeah, you can see he has sunk already. I can go here and hold fire for the time being. Down to 20% ammunition. Is he shooting back at us? We can see if there are any survivors down here. No. Doesn't want that. Let's make one final victory lap here now before we disengage and head for home. We aren't hitting anything and now it will be dark, so... Sunset in half an hour, so I'm pretty sure that ship will sink, and then if we hit this button it will give us ultra fast. And down here you can see time elapsed, and in parentheses the suggested runtime for this scenario. So because we were fighting, the scenario continued to run beyond the point where it would usually cut off. If we had gone if I had run away after sinking those two transport, then the scenario would likely have ended after 500 minutes. So, but now we have been fighting for more than around 12 hours, from sunrise to sunset actually, in the Gulf of Riga. The scenario is over. Okay. And there we see a summary. Yeah. So we have light damage to 2 cruisers. That's okay. LT, that's land target, so we had some batteries, not relevant. So the second cruiser did not after all sink, but it will be needing quite a bit of damage. Was I too puny? Should I have come up at 100 yards and torpedo it? Yes, maybe I should have, but maybe I shouldn't. I'm trying to sort of behave like a proper admiral commanding that fleet, and you don't needlessly risk your ships like that. So this was a good victory. I don't expect if they need repairs at all, it will be like over in a second. This heavy damage, it will probably be repairing for like several months. And here you can see we've got some survivors picked up. So we got some points for damaging my light cruisers, but I got a lot more here. And you can see Captain's Mode, victory points reduced by 20%. This is a kind of battle that I could easily have played in Admiral or Rear Admiral mode, but I cannot be bothered to swap these things around. So I will always keep it on Captain. So exit. And then we are back here, and it's a major victory. And we get some victory points for the war. And I didn't even get a single prestige for that lovely little victory. That sucks. And our first breakthrough, that is actually Harvey armor. So definitely every ship that we have that we want to build will have to be redesigned to take advantage of Harvey armor. It's a relatively big jump in armor quality, so we will not start any builds without updating the build template. Now, there is no trade warfare. Russia has commissioned the ships. Yeah, considerable improvement of armor quality. So we will see. So this one, once it's done, I will immediately revise it. And also the Valkyrie 2, it's never been put into production, remember? But if we save it now, then it will have Harvey armor. So it will have significantly better armor. It has the same armor thickness, but what armor it has is more effective. No free tonnage really here. Not enough to sort of armor the secondaries or anything. So this could be, it's just a 10% chance, but then we know it has Harvey armor, so we could, yeah, we knew that. So it's just 201 months, so let's do that. This one we will fix up as soon as it's, no, not build design ship. Then we could do this for the Bleacher as well. Now this, if we save this, this has Harvey armor. So we could call it the Bleacher 2. We have the Valkyrie 2 with Harvey armor. We have the Bleacher 2 with Harvey armor. And we wouldn't really need to do anything more with it. Unless we wanted to take advantage of the fact that we now have even more yard capacity. So we could toss on another 500. And then we could increase our main armament to -1. That wouldn't be enough, so we could take it all the way up here. But I don't think that is something that we need to do at the moment. I think I need to do it one more time. Open design. This now has Harvey armor, so rename it. And this is what you do if you just want to do a sort of a mild upgrade. I'm pretty happy with my armor scheme, and I don't think I want to put any more heavy cruisers into production. Gun data, make this 8-inch. I mean, the 8-inch, it doesn't really give me anything other than a lower rate of fire. So if you just keep it as it is for now and just save it. Yeah, It's just an update to take advantage of new technology, and Harvey armor is important enough that we want it. Unfortunately, you cannot see in the design screen or anyway looking at the ship what kind of armor or hull form or whatever it was built with. I think that is a mistake from the designer. It would be much more interesting to see armor, number of inches and effective armor. And I don't know, crop armor could be standard, so compound could be a less than one, multiplier of less than 1, and Harvey could be a little bit better, but still less than 1. Now, we are not going to put anything else into production because we are waiting to be able to build our first battleships once we have taken advantage of the armor. I don't think a lot of other nations have Harvey armor yet. They will soon, but we have researched it on high, and in addition we have that advantage in research. But Harvey armor is the kind of armor that will appear relatively quickly with all the other powers because it's so-called prolific tech. Well, maybe that's my word for it, but some techs are rarely researched, and even if you get that tech, maybe no one else will get it. But some of the key techs are either 100% chance of everyone getting, or it's like as soon as someone gets it, then it becomes much more likely that everyone else will research it as well. Let's look at fleet numbers here. They don't have enough ships to blockade me. I think they can't blockade me from the Baltic. They would have to come out into the North Sea, but if we combine my fleet, 2 fleets, and their fleets, I don't think they could actually hurt me. But now there is an issue because Japan still hasn't gone to war with the Russians, so now they are sending their fleet piecemeal and taking lots of attrition damage. And these guys are going to be super fatigued and have like poor quality, all of them, by the time they reach. So, but they have a little fleet here in the Med. 1 battleship and 1 cruiser. That won't change anything. That they will arrive here in Northern Europe soon. But then more ships will come. 3 cruisers also won't change anything. But now they will have more battleships, but that will take 1, 2, 3 turns to reach there, so we can hope something happens. These guys are probably doing some trade warfare. I could have sent some cruisers of my own to hunt them, but it's just not worth it. Not with the kind of fleet that I have. So let's hit the turn button, but now the video has gotten really long, so we would have to take a break here and come back later.